it's great to have. It's great to work at a school and be at a school where homecoming is the weekend that surrounds a basketball game as opposed to football. So for all the people that came back to Richmond to meet up with old friends and other alumni, I hope they enjoyed the game. I think everybody, me included, certainly enjoyed the second half more than the first. But I thought our energy and response in the second half to kind of a sluggish first half was really good, and it wore them down. It was a cumulative effect over the course of the game.
Coach, the defense was pretty consistent throughout, but what was on offense? Was it the energy that sort of was the difference?
No, I think there were some balls that didn't go in for us. Terrence had a couple point-blank finishes that rolled in and out in the first half, and there's a couple others that didn't work out. There's a tendency, I think, on the part of players when you're at home, and it's somewhat on the part of really anybody that follows our team, to just want the game to be a 10 out of 10 game in the first half. To really get off to a huge start, get out to a big margin. Sometimes that happens for you, and sometimes it doesn't. But I think what happened in the first half and affected us on offense was we got a little frustrated. It was multiple guys. I thought Javante got frustrated, Travion got frustrated. Rob was having a good half offensively. Melvin got a little frustrated. So halftime was good for us because it allowed us to hit the reset button.
Coach, Terrence has been working his way up in playing minutes. You brought up a couple weeks ago about his practice. But what did you see from him in the second half? And then also, what did you see him do for Javante?
Well, he really helps Javante a lot because when Javante's out there with our smaller lineup, he's just Trey does the best he can, but Drew's the only big guy. I mean, he's kind of the Lone Ranger out there, and that's been a lot of minutes, over the past few years, and it's been good for us in a lot of ways. But it does give Javante a little bit of added comfort that there's another big, strong guy in there that's going to be able to bang a little bit with the other team's big guys and rebound and set screens. So not necessarily all those things falling on Javante.
Coach, you guys held Obi Soto to just 7 points. He's just averaging just a hair under 18 on the season. What was the defensive game plan coming into this game to try to keep him from wreaking havoc?
Well, Javante started on him. I thought did a good job, and then we had different guys throughout the game that guarded him. We wanted to have a lot of length and athleticism on him. He's a good player. We've played against him before when he was at UAB, and he's having as good of a season as any of the forwards in our conference statistically. So that was a big point of emphasis. Fouled him too much. He got to the foul line too much, but to keep him from making a field goal over the course of the game, that was big.
There's a play at some point in the second half where it was maybe Coulter looked like he had a breakaway layup, and
Briante.
Bunches here. Briante.
Yeah.
Is it something you've said to him, or is he just
no? I don't get any credit for that. That's just him. It's, to be honest with you, it's not even really something he's worked at. That's just in him. That's who he is. I thought that was one of the best energy plays we've had all year, because if you remember that play, Javante got stripped in the lane or making a post move, and everybody else on our team was kind of down closer to the baseline. So they had almost a 3-on-none, other than Briante sprinting back, and he found a way to get below the level of the ball, as we say, and then he got his hands in the basketball with those quick hands. He's got those quick hands, and then was able to force a foul on them. So that was co-play of the game. The other co-play of the game, I've never seen this happen before, is we tip-dunked a missed dunk. I've never seen that. So Javante got a steal and tried to dunk it. He missed it, and then Terrence came back. It looked like a trapeze act. And Terrence came and tip-dunked it. So, again, those are energy plays, and those are things that spark your team and obviously spark the crowd.
Going back to the first half, Coach, Rob had a big night Tuesday night, and then he came in just firing and hitting in the first half. while the shooting hasn't been there the past 5 games, what have you seen just as the season's gone on from Rob Brandon?
With Rob, I think he's comfortable in his own skin and going out and playing and doing what's asked of him. I think the threes that he's taking, other than there was one in the first half where he had made 2 and he got really excited and wasn't so good, but the other ones he took, I think the other 4 threes he took today, really good shots. And when he takes good ones, he's going to shoot a good percentage. You know, earlier in the year, he was mixing in some that were pretty low percentage shots, and that's when your numbers tend to go down from a percentage standpoint. I thought he was good today from just a leadership standpoint, getting guys going. He was one of the guys that was vocal at halftime that we needed to reset and let the frustration go and just play.
Coach, earlier in Briante's career, you talked a little bit about needing to measure going for steals as opposed to playing sound.
Right.
How has he progressed with that over his career? How do you think he's doing?
He's got a lot better, but he's still got a ways to go. In fact, the GW game on Tuesday, we gave up a dunk in the first half and a layup in the second half because he was over-aggressive on the ball and his man drove down the lane. So those are examples of areas for growth. I think where he's really improved overall, and again, he's not all the way there, but he's starting to understand the difference between the aggressiveness and the chances that he can take in the full court or further away from their basket, and then, you know, being more sound when they get the ball over half court and they get a little bit closer to their basket, because that's when they can really make you pay.
Is that just a matter of, is that something you just learned to do on the field, measuring that?
It's maturity, and again, he's got a year and a half left to play here, and so we need to continue that process, that maturation process. It's discipline. You know, when you get a steal, the natural tendency is sometimes the next time to try to get the very same steal or to gamble, because steals are highlights. You know, the crowd likes them, and you know, Briante's I think obviously on a pace to break some records with that, but the goal on defense is still to stop the other team and not necessarily to steal the ball.
Coach, Briante loves to, you mentioned when he gets these steals just to pump up the crowd. What's he like in practice when there's no crowd around and he comes up with a steal?
He's not quite as much of a showman in practice. He likes the crowd. You know, he's one of the guys that he's more excited when there's a big crowd, and fortunately that's every time we take the floor at the Siegel Center, so we're appreciative of that. But that's okay. I mean, there's a lot of great players that are like that. So, you know, but he plays hard in practice. I mean, he still gets his hand on the basketball. He still flies around, and we've actually had to limit him sometimes in practice because he's running around so much, and we don't want to tire him out.
Coach, you got to turn around and become road warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Next 2 games coming up. Speak to that and what y'all have to do.
Well, we got a heck of a challenge going on the road, playing Dayton on Wednesday. I used to work there, so I know all about the home court atmosphere that they have. I know all about their fans. There will be 13,000 fans there. You know, they've got a really good team too. So, you know, that's, you got to deal with the crowd, but you know, more importantly, you got to deal with the team you're playing. Archie Miller's done a great job, and they'll obviously be ready to play. I think for our team, it's about learning from these past several games. You know, not just the GW game, which we came up short in, but today's game and the games that came before that, and what we need to do to be successful. I think today, defensive effort and energy was good. Gave up a few too many offensive rebounds, particularly in the first half, and then we fouled too much. So we've got to gain the level of discipline there. But those are 2 areas, if we can get better at those when we go on the road and continue playing with good effort, gives us a chance to win.
I know you only had a couple minutes post-game, but did you see that kid who wanted to buy free pizza? Did you see if any extra eligibility left?
No, you know what? When the games are on TV, sometimes you have more time in between the introduction of the lineups and the start of the game. So they told us 4 minutes. You have 4 minutes as soon as our starters got introduced. So since we had all that time, you know, we just kind of sat there and watched Joey, and I knew he was going to do it. I mean, he practiced yesterday, and we love when he's around because he brings a level of competitiveness. And I told him, I put some pressure on him. So Jesse Pelarosa got it done last year, but I think Joey got it done even faster. So happy to have him around. I mean, on homecoming, there's no one we like welcoming back home more than former players, and Joey's one of the best.
Any other questions?